Welcome, tabletop players. My name is Ruin Ortega, and tonight I'm just another one of the Chumbas because we are playing Cyberpunk Red by our Talsorian Games. Joining with me, as always, is my co-host Cade.
Hi, I'm Cade. Cyberpunk Red is the latest addition to the cyberpunk world of tabletop role-playing games, where you find yourself as a cybernetically enhanced mercenary just trying to find your way in the world that is overrun by corporate overlords. There's some crazy systems and lore, and it's super cool, and I was super excited to play it.
Yeah, it's kind of a really dark system in a post-apocalyptic punk setting, and it's something else. Our coffee of the batch is Grizzly Claw by Kicking Horse Coffee. Cade, what do you think about Kicking Horse's coffee?
So I'm a big fan of Kicking Horse. They're local to Western Canada. They make awesome coffee. And Grizzly Claw, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is the first dark roast coffee that we've done on the show so far.
It is. We are getting eclectic here in the Natural 20.
Branching out. Sci-fi and dark roast. Who knows? Next week we'll be doing like real espressos and My Little Pony, the role-playing game.
Be still my heart.
Grizzly Claw is a really rich coffee with notes of dark chocolate and brown sugar. It's really smooth. It's flavorful like most dark roast coffees are. And really, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I found this one to be almost like a black licorice style of flavor, but it was really heavy brown sugar in the end, that kind of molasses tinge to it. Yeah, our rating system is
illegally acquired turtles, and you're going to understand why that's our rating system when you get into the episode. For me, I think I'd probably give it 4 out of 5 illegally acquired turtles. I'm not a huge dark roast guy, but this wasn't so aggressive and bitter as I sometimes find dark roast coffees to be. It was really good, really enjoyable. I have no real complaints, but like I said, not being a huge dark roast guy, I can't give it the full 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with a 4 out of 5 illegally acquired turtles. It wasn't quite as dark of a dark roast as I usually like, but that black licorice sure had me, so there we are. And with that, grab a mug, fill it full of the hot stuff, and join us in a cyberpunk, dark, apocalyptic world. Hey, Cade. I'm recording again because I forgot my joke. You know what I need in the morning? Do you know what I need, Cade? Coffee, because otherwise I'm a real bear. Rawr. So, you want to be a cyberpunk? Well, before you go pitching off that sleep mat and jumping in, there are a few things that I need to tell you. First of all, respect the name. Cyberpunk comes from 2 words, cybernetic, the fusion of flesh and machine technology, and punk, from an early 1980s rock style that epitomized violence, rebellion, and social action in a nihilistic way. The term was popularized in pre-collapse days by a group of writers who specialized in writing science fiction with this kind of techno melange. Their works were a blend of rock, pop, sex, drugs, and only the highest, hippest technologies, usually grafted onto a body part. The archetypal cyberpunk heroes of the 80s range from techno-barbarians roaming a post-apocalyptic world to cyber-chip celebrities with designer bodies. Of course, from our enlightened viewpoint here in the time of the Red, this all looks pretty dated. After all, you probably accessed this recording from your personal database comp. You used a Commodore 19 interface cable with a direct link from your head jacks. You're accustomed to hardwiring into appliances to make coffee, studding into the Benz to drive down to the local corner store. But understand, in 1987, this was all considered pretty visionary stuff. No one had plugs. You couldn't dial just anyone from your agent. Designer trucks were illegal. You could walk down city streets without an armor jacket. Hell, there wasn't even a net. Not that there is anymore. But back then, they didn't even have a clue. So welcome to the dark future. As a cyberpunk, you grab technology by the throat and hang on. You're not afraid to check out the newest in enhancements, cybertech, and bioengineering. You've got interface plugs in your wrists, weapons in your arms, lasers in your eyes, and biochip programs in your brain. You become the car you drive, the aerodyne you fly, the guns you shoot. You dive headfirst into computer networks using your mind to hurtle at light speed all over new networks of micronets, data fortresses, and artificial intelligences. With cyborg fingers, you pick computer locks. With enhanced senses, you see into the future. But cyberpunk is also an attitude. You wear the most in clothes, know the right people, and follow the right crowds. You plan your crimes in the most select clubs and bars. Your enemies are corporate armies, cyborg biker gangs, power-armored assassins, and computer-wired netrunners. Your weapons are nerve, street smarts, bravado, and of course that Miami 10 smart gun on your hip. Are you ready now? Of course you are. You can't wait, because now you're cyberpunk. How you guys doing tonight?
Not bad.
Yeah. Solid. It was a whirlwind of a Christmas season, but not because of Christmas.
Yeah.
Just lots of pandemic stuff going on?
No, just that game that I cover, Tarkov, it reset on Christmas Eve. So I had to juggle that and Christmas. Try hard gamer strats and try hard family strats at the same time.
Wow. Cade, how you feeling, buddy? Good to have you back.
I feel like I got hit by a car. Yeah. But no, I'm doing all right. Still concussed, so there's going to be a lot of me not looking at the screen so that my head doesn't throb. But I'm going to be in physio for a while, but I'm all right. Gives me more time to research different campaign ideas and stuff. So coffee is still on the menu. Nice. I'm not banned from coffee for a concussion, so I'm good that way.
And that's the important thing. Yeah.
And I pick up my new wheels on Monday, so.
Ooh. Fancy.
Yeah.
Jaden, how you doing tonight?
Can't complain, just hanging out. I have it actually pretty chill. I had all my work right before Christmas, dropped off my presents, and I haven't been doing anything since.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I myself have been hard at work on this campaign scenario, and also finishing my basement, which is a never-ending project, apparently. I wanted to be moved in there by now to, use it as an actual living room area, and that's not happening. But that's okay, because that just means it'll be better in the end, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's introduce our characters tonight. So we're playing Cyberpunk Red, the newest edition, by Talsorian Games. And Cade, why don't you go ahead and start us off by introducing your character?
All right, so I am playing Mover. He is a solo, which basically means that he is a gun-for-hire mercenary type. His family was killed, and he was the lone survivor. He's out for vengeance, and according to the write-up they gave me, he's also a drug addict. So that'll be fun. I didn't realize that until about 10 minutes before I jumped in the call. So that explains the averting of the eyes and the shaking. So,
Jaden, how about you?
I am playing a gender-bent Red Eye because my voice does not have that range to be a lady all night. But yeah, Red Eye grew up with, a computer on his eyes or in his arms, since damn near birth, I think 3, and has been hacking his school ever since. And yeah, that's the whole goal, is just to get to be up there with the big boys like Bart Moss and Curtis and them.
Nice. Jody, go ahead.
I'm playing Scott Brown Jr., formerly a junior executive in the Scott Brown Real Estate and Private Security Incorporated. They're an all-in-one private security and property acquisition company. They were absorbed by a larger corporation, and I got booted out with just one apartment building to manage as my compensation.
Nice, and that's going to fit really well into our campaign tonight. So for this scenario, we are actually playing the quick start rules with a little bit of adjustment for some research purposes, just so we could get a better feel of the whole system. And because of that, Cade and Jaden have chosen to use the pre-built characters supplied in the Jumpstart kit, and Jody has chosen to make his own system based off of a character or character class that is well known within the Cyberpunk universe.
The dreaded Corpo rats.
Well, we are after the fourth corporate war. With that, we're going to jump right into this. So, all three of your characters live in Night City. It is after the fourth corporate war, so the city is in a state of ruin after it was hit by a nuclear bomb. You, however, have managed to scrape by, living in an apartment building owned by Jody's character. It is one of the few free, unowned by corporate slumlords buildings that resides just outside of the combat zone. There are various tenants from all over, but characters are really only familiar with just those on your floor. People come and go. It's various states of poverty. But the rent that comes in from everybody does manage to keep in upkeep, and not a penny more except what you need to pay Rex, the fixer, for keeping your neighborhood safe, you know. There are no government services available outside of the net, but no one really bothers you because of you paying that because of you paying that security deposit, should we say, to Rex. All in all, this is probably the best situation for your characters. You're safe, you have a roof over your heads, access to the net when you need it, and no governments to come knocking. In fact, the apartment itself has a beautiful view of the entire Night City and the red sky left over from the aftermath of the Fourth Corporate War from the building. And there is an elevator that goes up to the top in which you all use that. There was a stairwell, but unfortunately, in part of the aftershocks from the war, it collapsed, and you're no longer able to use the stairwell. With that being said, your three characters have just come in from a supply run in which you were able to get various different supplies for all the tenants of the apartment. Things that they would need to have average everyday lives. Some food and rations known as kibble. Some, clothing here and there, medical supplies. Really, the only ones that you paid attention to the specifics were the people on your floor. You reside on the third floor, the final floor besides the roof. And because of that, you decided to leave those supplies for last. That way you could go to your own houses after that. There are 4 tenants besides yourself that live on this floor, and 8 rooms total. There are 4 rooms on each side, and a hallway that divides them in the end. And on the north end of the floor is a stairwell that goes to the roof, which again no longer works, or down to the basement. And beside it, on the other side, is an elevator that goes up to the roof as well, or down to the basement. So on the south side, there's the elevator. Other than that, it's a pretty sparsely adorned apartment floor, much that you would expect for those who are impoverished. You know that you need to give the following items to the tenants. Dr. Carver has requested antibiotics. Gina has requested pet kibble. Rico, an amp for his guitar. And Grant, mini alcohol bottles. The crates are large enough for 2 people to carry, and therefore you'll be able to actually walk into their apartments to drop them. They're not going to make you drop them out in the halls where less savory people might be prone to grabbing them. And that is where we start our story.
All right. Are we all together hoarding or handing out these supplies?
You are. One of you would be knocking on the doors while the other two are carrying the boxes.
Okay, I'm going to ask my two co-workers here what they think of trying to convince these residents to add like 10% to the rent for our delivery service here. Because I'm the landlord and I gotta make my piece.
Yeah. Mover just kind of like grunts and is like, whatever you want, boss. I'm just here to be the muscle. I'm not getting paid for thinking.
Maybe just like a one-time fee per delivery seems more reasonable.
I'm not asking about reasonable. But
I'm just saying, not like in a bad way. You can jack up the price a lot more on a each time subscription instead of a flat rate. We might be running 5 or 6 trips a month if we just let them think that they can pay a flat fee.
You know, when you put it like that, I like how you think.
Business is business, man.
That's capitalism, folks. All right, well, you can do that if you wish, but you will need to figure out who you're going to first. Not that it really matters in the end.
Delivering the guitar amp.
Sure.
That's the coolest one.
True.
Rico, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I would assume we inherently know what these people's rooms are since we know our floor, so I don't think we need to ask what doors or they live in. I would assume we would just know.
Absolutely, yeah. So you guys reside. Cade, your character is in the left hand, so the west apartment, closest to the stairwell in the north. Okay. Jaden, your character is on the one directly behind that, to the south. And Jody, you took the best room, obviously, with the northeast one. The one behind you is empty. And then behind that one, further south, would be Grant. The last one on the east side would be Dr. Carver. And then opposite Dr. Carver on the farthest south would be Rico, where you're headed. And one north, but behind Jaden's, would be Gina's. So,
right, well,
you go over to the door, and do you just knock politely, or what kind of landlord are you?
Bang on the door, full fist. Like, landlord, I'm here with your guitar amp, apparently.
You hear some footsteps approaching, and as you stand there impatiently, it opens up very, very quickly. As Rico seemingly goes, "What? Can't you see I'm trying to rock here?" And you can tell that there was some music playing just before you arrived. Not quite from a guitar, though. It sounded more like a trumpet.
Like a trumpet. Interesting. All right, well, I say, well, you could rock a little bit better if you had this guitar amp in there. Your other one kind of sounds a little broken. And I say it jokingly.
Yeah, Red Eye's gonna like push by right as he kind of says that and shove him out of the door and work his way in and just like slam it in the middle of the room kind of thing.
Fair, and it's quite a large amp, and so he kind of stands back and, damn, that thing is nice. Can't believe you managed to get me one. It's been a while since I rocked with one of these. And he kind of does like one of the little kind of motions.
Rico,
style.
you still going to hook me up with some of those free tickets for all the noise complaints we're getting recently?
I don't know, man. Don't you know I'm like semi-retired? Like, I could probably get you into something, but you ain't seeing my band. You ain't seeing the Night Children.
Well, how'd you like to be out of a jam space?
All right, fair. I'll see what I can do, all right? It's a little bit harder, but, I'm going out later with Gina, and I'll see what I can do.
All right, that's what I like to hear.
And sure enough, if you were to take a look around, you'd see lots of posters, old vintage ones from when he was, back in the biz. A lot of them cybernetically enhanced to be little tiny video montages and stuff like that.
Nice. So Red Eye has the basic tech ability, which kind of allows her to understand things, kind of fix and repair stuff. I wonder if she can give a quick look over this app, see if there's any real quick way that he, I keep forgetting that I switched genders apparently. He can just quickly like switch around the wiring a bit, maybe get a little extra amperage out of it kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you could do is you could do a tech roll. Now, the skill system in Cyberpunk Red works by having a character stat, just like most RPG systems, and then having a skill. And that skill and the stat, you add the numbers together, whatever you have, and then you add a 1d10 roll on top of that. So Jaden is going to use his tech skill, and he's also going to, his tech stat. And Jaden, what skill are you going to use on top of that?
I'm going to slap on top of that my basic tech skill. I got +3 in it. It's the only thing that seems the most applicable.
I would say so. And then he's going to add a d10 to that roll for a total of...
Okay, so I just rolled a 9 +3 +7, so 19.
Perfect. So that was a fairly easy roll to succeed at. You do notice that, yeah, there's just some wires that have been kind of spliced here and there, and if you were to just kind of twist them together, you'd be able to fix that. And you do. And Rico kind of looks at you and is like, hey, that's my man. And he hands out the cash that he's going to pay you guys. And then he kind of gives you, Red Eye, just an extra little bit of EB there for you. EB, of course, being the world currency at this point, because in Cyberpunk they have managed to put it all together. Jody, were you going to try to, shake them down?
No, I'm just going to put it on their rent bills and not even ask permission because I'm the landlord.
Dang, you hard.
We'll have a little note at the bottom. Just like a very small fine print at the bottom of their new bill, just saying, we have added a delivery charge per delivery. Yep. It could be brought up at the yearly meeting.
They call me Jeff Bezos Jr.
Nobody really gets the reference, The real one actually died in, like, the third corporate war.
He's just a head in a vat now.
He was just a small player in the cyberpunk world. Amazon didn't blow up.
Nice. And Rico kind of takes a look at you guys all and is like, well, I got to rock because, ain't ever stopping this. And then he says, I'll see you later at the family gathering. And he kind of makes reference to another family that lives in the building, but they're not here today. They're called the Family. You guys know a little bit about them. But you definitely know that they're not really family, but they do like to support everybody by having a large home-cooked meal every once in a while.
Wholesome.
Cool.
All right, who are we seeing next?
Whichever one's closest.
That'd be Jenna or Carver. Carver's across the way, or Jenna's the next door down.
Do Carver. Why not?
Okay. We've got to drop off some antibiotics to the doctor, then.
Okay.
Red Eye's going to go and shuffle through a box at Mover. He's got most of the boxes. Red Eye grabs out the couple of little packages and gets ready to drop it off.
Nice. All right, well, you go over and you knock on the door. And curiously enough, you can hear shuffling within, but it's very faint, and nobody comes to the door right away.
Knock again.
Same response.
Mover walks up and
Use
gives
my
the
key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, landlord would have a key.
Fair.
That's fair. So you unlock the door, and as you do, you can see that the good doctor is bent over a body on a chair and seems to be meticulously working away. He doesn't appear to have noticed that you've come in.
Shout kind of loudly are we interrupting?
Perfect. As you do that, can I have one of you make I'm going to ask for a perception check. Human perception would be fine.
Sure.
Or actually, sorry, no, not human perception, just perception. Human perception would be like emotions and things like that.
Okay.
And we can put on top of that a intelligence roll.
Okay. Be 16.
Perfect. So as Mover hears his partner yelling, he recognizes that the walls around him seem like they've had some padding added to it. It's not immediately recognizable, but you can definitely tell as that shout doesn't echo as much as it would have in every other apartment.
Okay. So
And
some sound dampening.
yeah, the good doctor turns around and he says, my apologies. I didn't realize that you would be here so soon. And he steps away, and you can see that there is indeed an older gentleman just passed out in the chair, and he has a large bullet wound in his shoulder that the doctor is also holding a pair of the longer surgical pliers and has a slug in his left hand. Yes, well, normally I would be asleep, but this gentleman insisted that he be looked after right now. You may put the supplies over against the east wall by the window there.
Sounds good. Red Eye will just walk over, slap it where it pointed.
As Red Eye's doing that, Mover's gonna look and see if he sees any like painkillers or combat drugs that he'd be able to like easily swipe.
Did you want to try to identify them before you swipe them, or did you want to?
I mean, I can try and
just
identify
do
them. Yeah. If it was combat drugs, I feel like my guy would know immediately because he's been on them for years. But painkillers would probably be a little tougher.
Yeah, they're definitely not like they wouldn't be combat drugs, at least not ones that you've ever seen.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, were
Yeah,
you wanting
so-
to identify them?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. So again, I think that's just an intelligence, but do you have some sort of like medical or some sort of skill like that?
I have very little education, but that's about it.
What's your education?
2.
2?
Yeah, so it's a
Okay.
+2.
Okay, so we could try an education and see if that works. Alternatively, if Cade didn't have the appropriate skill for this type of role, or one that would work, he would actually just be rolling without a skill. So it would just be a stat plus a d10. There is another type of role that we may get into later, but we'll leave that be for now. So Cade, go ahead with the the education.
Okay, and what stat do you want me to roll with that? Education or intelligence?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So that'd be 12.
12. So you're not really able to identify exactly what it is. You definitely can tell that they're kind of bottles of pills, and there's also some liquid sacks in there, but they're definitely not any painkillers you've ever seen.
Okay.
You can still steal them if you'd like.
No, we'll, yeah, we're good.
Perfect.
He's just after the good stuff.
Yeah, I don't waste my time with that stuff.
And as you're kind of being hesitant over by the boxes, the doctor kind of shoves his way past and grabs one of the little bottles and goes back over to his patient and slams them down and says, well, he'll want these when he gets out. Otherwise, well, it's already started with infection and he'll never save himself otherwise.
Sure hope this gunfight didn't happen in our neighborhood.
No, we are well out of the combat zone, luckily. And you even know that the reason why Dr. Carver would choose to live at this particular location is so that he is out of the combat zone. The fact that people have started to find him here doesn't actually pose any sort of danger.
Good to know. All right, let's go drop off this last box then.
We still got
And
two.
the doctor kind of passively waves and says, "Thank you." All right, and you have Grant and Gina remaining.
Yeah, Red Eye's gonna go and collect the bottles of booze. This is probably enough to get him in between each finger, I would assume. I assume Grant likes to drink. So he's gonna grab 8 bottles of booze and walk.
Well, they're actually just the mini bottles, like the
Oh, even
airplane
better.
bottles. Yeah,
That's
so
easier.
you've got like a whole box of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
haul
Know
out
that-
one handful, and then I'm also then gonna hold the box. And I'm gonna knock on his door, holding out the first 4 hands, because I feel like he's gonna want to drink right off the bat.
Yeah, you know they're an alcoholic if they're asking for the little bottles.
Get me my medicine.
All right, so this is Grant. As you knock on the door, it opens quite quickly, like far quicker than you would have expected it to. And but only the smallest little crack as you see this one really bloodshot eye kind of gazing in front of you and being like, oh, hey, yeah, you got the stuff, hey?
Wave the bottles in front of his eyes.
Yeah, come in. And you open the door, and can I get a human perception check from somebody?
I don't have it, so not me.
Yeah, it would not be
Ooh,
something I'm
got-
capable of.
What skill or like stat? Sorry, do I add to this?
Empathy, so EMP.
So 16.
Perfect. So as you enter, you can tell that Grant is definitely looking behind you guys as if he's wary that people might be following you, and you can tell that all the shades in the room have been pulled shut and drawn, and he's definitely a little bit sketched out, maybe a little tweaky.
I'll ask it. Grant, you've been seeming a little shifty lately. Haven't seen you out in the hallway much. Have you even left this week?
No, not this week. Rex had me in a kind of a crazy fix last week, and I've been trying to lay low. I mean, he and I are good. Don't worry. We're all good here. But we went up against, well, you don't even want to know. I don't want to get you involved, but we got into some heat, and I've been just trying to keep calm. You can tell that he has not taken off his armor for a very long time because it is starting to smell.
Doesn't have anything to do with this shot kid at the doctor's house, does it?
No, I don't think so. Wasn't any kids involved. At least not that I could tell.
All right, well, we got to stay cool with Rex, us here in the building, so you guys better be cool.
No, Rex and I are cool. Don't worry. It's those other guys, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about them anytime soon. Don't worry.
All right, well, you
And,
better give me
he
a rent
kinda-
on time this month.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll get it. I'll just I'll give Rex his as well. It's coming up at the end of the week too, so we better get that to him. You'll have to collect from everybody.
You know what makes people not worry? Saying "don't worry" about 500 times.
Right? It doesn't make me suspicious at all.
Not alone.
All right, well, carry on, you.
He's just got body armor on and all the shades drawn, and in fact, yeah, he just kind of grabs the crate from you guys and kind of just gingerly puts it down in the corner and it says, well, you had them for a moment, but you're going to have to try to win them back from me at the weekly game. And from your guys' history, you know that Grant actually hosts poker games and plays for cards that the actual winnings are the mini liquor bottles.
It's also wholesome. It's a wholesome building in the slums here.
Gotta find happiness.
Listen, there is enough.
Iron-fisted landlord all of a sudden.
There is enough awful crap out there in Night City that this is like your own little haven, There aren't people just dying in the hallways every time you turn around.
That is nice.
Well, apparently there's one right now.
Pay big bucks for that.
Not if the doctor can help it.
Does poker look the same in the future? Or is it
They're
like
definitely
space poker?
tech cards.
They add one more card.
It's like the chess game they played.
That
in
was
Star
it.
Wars.
Yeah. All right, and with that, he doesn't really usher you out, but he definitely stands at the door, being like, "Eh,
I will carry on, you weirdo.
All right, and your last stop is Gina's door. You go over and you knock on it, and from inside you can hear these very light, almost lith-like footsteps before the door very graciously opens up. And in front of you stands a very frizzy-haired younger lady who is wearing a lot of very flowy cybernetic clothing. And she's like, "Oh, hey. So good to see you guys."
Oh, hey.
Hippie.
So we got your stuff.
"Oh, that's so great. Yeah, Rico's gonna love it." And as you walk in, all around you, you actually see 3 different kind of cage styles. One's more of a tank, and it is holding a tortoise. And then you see a cage that is holding a cockatoo. And the last one is a kind of like cage-like, but more almost like dry bed style, holding a chameleon. And she immediately opens up one of the packets of kibble, and she goes over to the cockatoo, and she's like, "There you go, Rico. Have some food." And the cockatoo just all of a sudden is like, "Rah! Rico like.
Did Gina name her cockatoo after her boyfriend?
Are you asking her that?
Tortoise's name is Grant.
I'm not asking her that. I'm asking you that.
No, it's complete coincidence. She hasn't told you where the animals come from, but it's complete coincidence. But Rico,
That's a red flag.
the actual Rico is very fond of Rico the cockatoo. Her other pets are named Spooky the chameleon and Puddles the tortoise.
It's like Animal Crossing.
Does anybody have any sort of like animal skills or biology or something like that?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
How about a high education, and we'll try one of those other roles we talked about.
I do have a high education, but I just don't love meat stuff. I guess I'll roll.
All right, so
Is it a
here's the
robot
thing.
turtle? Because then it'd be cool.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's make use of the fun roll, okay? So there is a type of roll in Cyberpunk Red, and it's called cultural familiarity. If there's some sort of role that you don't really have, a skill that you don't really possess, and you really want to get that bonus, you can use a cultural familiarity, which is that you believe yourself to have some sort of knowledge that could pertain to this situation. And so because of that, you can use your... Now, Jaden, is it your intelligence or your education?
There's education, and then there's the stat intelligence, which is separate from it. That I think is part of the regular roll. So I think it's just specifically your education value that determines your cultural familiarity bonus.
Right, you are. So what's going to happen is that Jaden is going to use his intelligence as his stat, and then he's going to use a cultural familiarity of his education for this, and roll to see if he knows what's going on with these animals.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, my cultural familiarity is 2 because of my education value, and then just rolling for my intelligence is the other one. So, 7 plus 8, 15 plus 2 for 19 or 17. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a really great roll considering you didn't have a skill to benefit that. So with that, Jaden has lived in Night City for a very long time. He's lived in the world for a very long time, enough to know that after the nuclear holocaust, most animals and plants have died out. The animals in front of him are real animals. They are not enhanced or artificially created.
That's a big score.
And as you take this...
Oh. I was just going to say, I was going to ask what she's doing living in the slums, if she could afford real animals like that. Like, ask her.
I think she's living in the slums. It's costly to own animals.
We live in the slums. Oh, yeah, too. Fair enough.
That's my guess.
Jody, sorry, and what's your character's name again, Jody?
Scott Brown Jr.
Scott Brown. All right, Scott. Can you make me a persuasion roll?
Yes, I can. 17.
Also a good roll. Well, Gina kind of looks at you, and she looks with very distant eyes, and she says, "The animals just needed to be free. You know? Biotechnica shouldn't own animals. Rico, Spooky, Puddles, they're free now, even if I have to keep them in cages for their safety." And she kind of like dances around the room, feeding them different kibbles.
So are you saying you stole them from Biotechnica?
She kind of just starts humming to herself and like whimsically just tossing kibble.
Turns out pot is still a thing in the future.
Yeah, but it's super pot. Gets you super high.
There are so many drugs in this game, but they're all they're all created in a lab.
Well, you know what I think is potentially funny, and I don't know, and I don't want to make any judgment of the people, but drugs and tabletop are not always for every person that plays them a common association. For lots of people, they can be too, but maybe not always writers. So are these writers writing about drugs and they've never experienced like anything other than alcohol? Because that would be really funny.
It's like if I tried to write it like a stoner comedy, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Have you guys visited the Wikipedia page for Cyberpunk?
I have not.
Okay, so the creator of Cyberpunk, and his name is escaping me right now. His name is not R. Talsorian. That's apparently an investor that nobody's ever seen, like a farmer from someplace that like they just got money from. And the creator, the picture that they use for his face makes me think that he is just either a creative genius or insane, like criminally insane. Oh, Mike Pondsmith is his name. That's the guy.
I was really hoping that it was going to be like CY per punk.
Just a pseudonym.
Yeah.
All right. That is Gina, but as she's dancing around, she suddenly comes to a stop near her window. And the whimsical humming that she was on has been replaced by a scrutinizing stare and a kind of, "Ooh, this doesn't look good," kind of muttering to herself. Nothing really concrete, but definitely not good.
I look outside expecting to see Biotechnica security agents outside of our building.
So you don't see Biotechnica, but you do see a very, very nice black car with no real affiliation, logoing sort of thing on it. But there is a man standing in front of it with an easel, and he is taking different measurements and things like that.
Can I use my my cyberware optic implant to zoom in and see if I can see anything particularly interesting about him?
Please do, because that sounds awesome. So is that just a bonus to rolls for like persuasion or perception? Sorry.
I'm not sure what, like, there's not like a rule attached to it. I don't think it's just part of my cyberware. It has low light vision and like enhanced zoom.
So I assume that would be what it would be. Is the rulebook usually has a description of them, but obviously that you can see in low light, and then you would probably not take a modifier against you if it's at long distance. But yeah, for sure, you can definitely use it. That sounds awesome.
Okay. So just make a perception.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. 2 + 5. Not great, like 11.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're not really able to see kind of what the guy is doing. He's definitely taking measurements of some sort. He's walking all around the building, but you can't tell what's behind the easel or what he's doing.
Okay. Well, if it's outside of my building, I should probably go and see what's going on.
That would be realistic. You could try to take the elevator down to the first floor and walk out.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to do.
All right. Well, with that, the three of you hop into the elevator and you walk out through the lobby. And as you do, the man kind of stiffens up and says, yeah, no, we're good here. I don't know who you are. I don't really need your help right now. We'll take care.
Well, you should know who I am. I'm Scott Brown Jr. and I own this building. And I point to the giant sign that says Scott Brown Incorporated in front of the building.
And as you do that, two men in Militech uniforms kind of step out from behind the vehicle, and you can see that they're definitely packing some heat. And they look at you, kind of look at each other, and then the one steps forward and says, "You only got one warning. Get back in the building. That's it."
I throw my hands up and I'm like, "Whoa, guys! We didn't realize we were going all guns blazing here. Relax. I just want to know what you're doing, making schematics of my building."
Mover is going to slowly just put his hand on his gun, just in case things turn ugly, so he can quickly whip it out.
It doesn't matter what we're doing. You need to get back inside before we make this nasty.
Mover will turn to Scott and just be like, "Do you want me to take care of him?"
I'm gonna signal to maybe relax a little bit. I don't want a full on guns blazing gunfight on our doorstep right now.
I'll just still keep my hand on my gun, but yeah,
a little less on it.
The man with the easel, you can see that he has two kind of camera type things mounted on his shoulders that keep moving around, kind of just surveying the area. And he has not stopped doing what he's doing. And in fact, he kind of moves even closer to you guys as he's almost surveying around you. He hasn't moved his easel. His easel is still back, and occasionally he'll go back and write stuff down. But he's definitely closer to you than he is the other guys right now.
Can Red Eye get into their his private net and see what's going on with the cameras? Maybe mess them up.
I mean, I can definitely throw a scan, see if there's anything I can access. Never know.
Yeah. In order to do that, Red Eye would have to be within 6 meters of the terminal. That is how net running starts. You are a bit further than 6 meters. It would be more like 10.
Yeah, well, they're obviously gonna get mad if I start moving towards that shit. I told us to back off. It's not really probably any way I can sneak my way closer. We could try and make a stink and kind of push them back, but I don't know if they're gonna get angry if we try and actually just verbally force them back a few feet.
So seeing that you guys haven't moved, haven't heeded their warning, the guys in the uniforms draw their guns and move forward. and they say, "I don't think you're listening. We gave you an order."
I raise my hands again and say, like, no, we understand. We're going to head inside. Just relax. And I want to go talk to the chick that was staring out the window that seemed concerned about it to see if she knows anything.
Okay, fair enough. So you guys all head back inside?
Do you want me to stay like by the
We
front
don't
door?
all have to. You guys can do what you want.
Yeah, obviously. I'm just trying to think of an actual reasonable way to get to a point of accessing anything he has.
Yeah. I'll follow Scott back towards the building, but I'll kind of like stand in the front door. Again, like not infringing on their space, but definitely like, this is our property. You're not coming in. Whatever you do in front, like we can't stop you, but
Yeah. Can I just try to scan, like, just so I know whether I can even interact with his stuff? It might not really be, like, you know, like a net system per se. He might just be running kind of like a little private, you know, system. Probably might not be worth my time to try and actually move in on trying to do anything with his tech.
Yeah, why don't you use your scan ability?
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's just roll a d10 plus my interface level, which is 7. 7 and 9, so 15. Or 16. Ugh, gotta do my math a bit better.
Yeah, so when you rolling a 15, you are able to see that, yes, you would be able to log into the easel if you were to be able to get close to it. His own like local hardware that he's using is just sending signals to that, but it's not sending external to anything else.
Yeah, so it's just kind of a small server there. Okay. Well, have you went up to go and talk to that lady, or are you still around? I guess that's a good start.
Let's say we're still in the doorway.
Okay. Well, then I, as Red Eye, am going to say that, hey, you know, we should probably figure out a way to get towards that system. Like, if we want to figure out what he's doing, I guarantee you I can figure it out. I just need to be within, you know, my usual distance, 6 meters. You guys know. Come on.
All right. Well,
I don't know how we're going to get those guys off of him, though. Because we don't maybe need to kill anyone or start a fight. But, I mean, we could also start a fight.
I'm always game for a fight.
Leave it in the hands of our merc.
The man with the easel kind of comes closer to the doorway, and he says, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to move out. I need this number. You're in my way. I'm here to scan. I need to scan it. Can you please move out of the way? And he's definitely pointing towards, like, the doorway that you guys are standing in.
I'm going to knock one of the cameras off his shoulder.
So,
okay, just as he does that, I'm going to break off and see if that will at all be my opportunity to get, like, away. So maybe try and get out of the building off to the side before the Militech guys make a move.
Inevitably start shooting us.
Yeah.
So as you punch the camera and it goes flying off and Red Eye moves towards the easel, one of the guys gets in the car and turns it on, while the other one comes and approaches Red Eye and tries to grab the easel first.
I
mean, I could pull a gun on him. That's my next move.
Yeah, I'll pull up my assault rifle and kind of level it at him.
Okay,
So
I'm
seeing
gonna
that,
keep moving. I'm going
seeing
for it at this
that you've pulled a far larger weapon than he is currently holding in his hand, and seeing that Red Eye is definitely closer to the easel than he is, he looks at you and says, "Well, you're gonna regret that, punk." And he runs off to the vehicle, and they drive off, leaving the man with the easel there.
Uh-oh, that's almost spookier.
That's a lot
Now
worse.
backup is coming.
Well, Red Eye's gonna make a run for it and start, jack into that system. I've got time
alright.
to waste.
Mover will point the gun to the man with the easel. Just be like, freeze. in case he's trying to make a break for it.
He puts his hands up, and I cannot actually be frozen, because that is a scientific thing I am not able to do. But if you mean by stop moving, then I am frozen.
I like this
Screaming
guy.
I'm Scott Brown, man. Get down on the ground. This is my building. You're on my property. Get down on the ground. Get down.
Do you have
I'm
a gun
sorry,
too, or
I'm
you're
really-
just yelling
I'm really
under my
confused.
enforcement?
This
I'm being the villain that like doesn't have his gun out while I got my like big strong guys around me with all
Gotcha.
their guns out, and I'm just like, get down.
I'm really sorry.
I actually ask.
I'm very confused. Do you want me to freeze or to move? Because you seem like many bad police officers from the mid-2010s.
I want you to tell me where those Militech guys are going.
Again, that requires moving my mouth. Is that what you wish?
Yes. You're not very smart, are you, for a techie?
I just take measurements. They are, I work for WorldSat, and those are, corporate military for WorldSat. Yes.
And where are they going?
Well, I assume that they are going to get more of them.
And why are they here?
Well, I guess you probably haven't been informed. We are demolishing your building tonight.
What do you mean, demolishing the building? What are you doing, building a highway through here?
What's another word for demolished? Decimate? Pulverize? Destroy? Send the fist of God down upon?
Well, how'd you like me to send the fist of God down upon you? What gives you the right to be doing this? I paid good money for this building. I worked hard. I'm Scott Brown.
Listen, Chumba. I just take the measurements. They're putting a satellite tower here. I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, I want you to tell me how long we're going to have to get ready before these guys come back, because we ain't giving this building up.
Well, as the helicopter, really, as the helicopter flies, you have 27 minutes.
Huh. Well, what do you think, boys? A last stand like the Alamo?
Man, I'm trying to hack that sweet easel.
I don't know what the Alamo is.
Didn't you go to school, mover?
No.
Nomads.
Yeah,
We're gonna go back to Jaden actually, and we're gonna go into he wants to hack this terminal. Now in Cyberpunk Red, they have changed the net running system from previous editions. It is much easier in this version. It used to be almost like a game in itself, whereas now it is happening simultaneously as the real world. It can only be done by netrunner classes or people who possess those skills. And the way it works is we have to imagine that the net, now it doesn't exist the way it does in our world. It is not this global interlinked system. They are smaller systems that are often contained to a building or a city or things like that. And so this would be a private terminal. And therefore, when Red Eye is trying to hack into this private terminal, if we imagine that their net for this terminal is a building, it has a number of floors that need to be explored, and each one of those floors has a different amount of information, and each one of those floors has to be explored. So, using Red Eye's abilities, they can figure out how many, if they're successful, floors there are before they even start exploring. Jaden, I'm going to turn it over to you because I trust that you know your netrunner abilities better than I do. So please, what would you like to do?
Well, first off is just jacking in, which I believe is still just a net action, which I get 3 per turn, but I don't feel like this is like the most time sensitive thing, so I'm probably not rocking it that aggressively. But yeah, so the first I would jack in, and then I would be on the first floor.
Absolutely. Now, the first floor is always a password. So do you have a skill to get you through a password?
Ooh, yes, I most definitely do. I believe that is just an inherent skill of any net running deck, or cyber deck, I believe. I just gotta remember which one it is. Yeah, backdoor. Just allows you to break through a password. If you already know the password, you don't need to use this, but I don't happen to know the password. I guess we could have probably beat it out of the guy, but we'll try this at this moment. So let me just quickly pull up the one little sheet thing. Where is the actual use of the ability? Oh yeah, I think it's just normal. So it's still just my interface, which is 7 plus a roll of 10. So
Correct.
Bam, 15.
Excellent. Yes, you are able to get through it. Now, with a level 1, it is, and a password, it's just a difficulty value of 11. So 15 obviously beats that. You are in. You can see that it really only has one floor that you can see from here after this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I just have the general idea. Am I sure that's only one floor, or I just don't know if there's any more? Because I can obviously drop a Pathfinder to find out what's going on.
Yeah, so for now, because you haven't used Pathfinder, you can only see that there is a floor going beyond the one you're on. Mm-hmm. If you use Pathfinder and you're successful, you could see how many floors there are.
Yeah, well, I am obviously going to quickly throw out a Pathfinder. So yeah, so if this was actually in turns, I would be able to do 3 of these actions per a normal round of turns if we were actually in a normal turn order. So this would be my last one if I was doing that. I could go down to the next floor because that doesn't take an action, but then anything else I would need to do, I wouldn't be able to do once I got in there. So yeah, Pathfinder I believe is just the same thing as usual. So 7 plus a 10, 14.
Perfect. You can see that there is actually only one other floor after this. And do you choose to move to it?
I mean, if this was in a normal turn order and I actually had to worry about my actions, I wouldn't. But yeah, I might as well go down there.
Well, and Pathfinder will actually also tell you what is on those floors. So you can tell that there are no black ice programs, which are ones that would be dangerous. What you can see actually is that it is just a file. It is just a database.
Classic. Yeah, so I'll go down there, check out this file. Which would actually take another action, which is ID, for me to see what's going on with the file or anything to identify of it. Which, again, same thing, super easy. That is the nice thing, is you're really pretty much rolling the same thing across just your interface with your D10 versus the difficulty. So 17.
Perfect. So you actually got your max roll there. It was a higher difficulty value for this one. It was a 14, but you managed to hack into it. And you can see that this guy is actually telling the truth. He is collecting measurements for the WorldSat Corporation because they have plans to demolish this building tonight in place of a communications tower. They obviously do not care who is here now and what they have to do to get this location.
Okay.
And the easel men kind of still half to the ground, but half hands in the air, frozen, is like, hi, yeah, I'd like to leave now, please.
No.
Are we letting him leave?
No, absolutely not. We're keeping him up on the top floor, and if they want him back, they're going to have to not blow up our building.
Fair enough.
So
well, guys,
to shoot him.
Well, I mean, you're a free man mover. It's the future.
I just do what I'm told.
Fair enough. Well, no, he's our only bargaining chip. So I mean, he might not be because they abandoned him pretty fast. But he's the only one that seems to know what's going on. Does he know what they're going to use to blow up our building? Like, do they have to plant explosives, or are they just going to nuke it from orbit, or like, what's the plan?
Well, he did mention that a helicopter was coming, so it sounds like it's going to be some sort of force.
Okay. Well, if we have Militech coming, we got to get out of the street. And, yeah. If this is our last stand kind of situation, I want to die on the front steps.
Well, with that, you guys are going to get to reinforcing. But in the meantime, I'm out of coffee, and I could use a refill. So let's take a break. Hey there, friends. It's Ruin, and I'm here with Cade.
Hi, I'm still Cade.
We're just here to say thanks for giving us a shot and listening. During our refill, we wanted to take a moment on top of that to say we've got some social media. You should check it out. Join us in some conversation. And while you're at it, maybe hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. If you'd like to take a little bit more time, we would really appreciate it if you could rate and review us on whatever your favorite podcasting platform is. It helps us immensely with the mystical algorithms created by the elder gods of social media, and it helps us push the show to more people.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun doing this, and we hope you are too. But we'd like it if more people could join us, so go ahead and do those things.
We also have an email address. You can shoot us an email at cantripsandcoffee@gmail.com if you want to maybe suggest your favorite coffee or your favorite tabletop system that we haven't tried out yet. We're always looking for more suggestions and would love to hear some from you.
You may have also noticed that we're running out of topics on our side table conversations, so maybe shoot us a question that we could talk about there. As an added bonus, you can also look forward to some contests that we have up and coming. Trust me, they're going to be worth just hitting that little subscribe button.
There's also some pretty cool collaborations that we're working on with some other content creators.
It's an exciting time here in the Natural 20, and we want to make it as exciting as we can for you as well. So with that, we're going to jump back into the show. And we are back and caffeinated. Let's get back to the game. Jaden, as you are jacked into the system, into the net, all of a sudden, the server goes blank. Everything dissolves around you, and you see a lost signal system on your visor.
Dang. Well, I'm gonna have to jack out then.
You are automatically jacked out.
Can I quickly just look at the system with my tech ability? See if I can see like why it shut down or anything like that quickly, or if I was able to piece anything together while it was shutting down.
Yeah, go
like,
for it.
Like they locked
You
me
can
out
try.
or something, or is that just kind of implied? Okay, might as well. So 7 plus.
Yeah,
3,
so you're using your tech ability.
18.
You're able to see that internet local network connection has been lost. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they just cut the feed to it then. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna run back over to the guys, tell them stuff they probably already know. Check out this file. Blowing this thing up. You guys didn't know any of this, did you?
Did it show what they were using to blow it up? The file.
No, sorry, that was a question for me. No, the file did not actually say how they were going to do it. It said that a demolition team would be sent.
Okay.
As you're all standing there talking, you all of a sudden hear from your agent a beeping noise. Now, for our listeners at home, every single Cyberpunk character has an item that's called an agent. It is the cell phone of the future, if you will, and it is responsible for basically being your sole media device. They are a little bit larger than an old school flip phone, and they contain everything from music, videos, local news, everything. And every single one of your agents currently is beeping at you. Let's
check it out.
As you
Probably
each
just spam email anyway.
dig out your agents and look at the screens, every single one of them reads no service. Network lost.
Oh. Well, that's spooky.
Shut down the whole grid.
Mover, the ex-soldier, would I ask if he'd know how close they'd have to be to use like a mobile jamming unit on us?
Would I know that? Because
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
I
know
would
that.
think so. I'm just trying to think if you have a skill that we could use for that.
Like local expert, maybe?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah?
Use local
Okay.
expert.
All right. So 7, 10, 16.
So Mover would be able to tell that in order to jam a local signal, they would have to be within a 1/4-mile radius. That would also suggest that any data terminals that would be found on the streets, which would be, kind of public use networks, would also be down.
Okay. Well, if they're that close, we better get off the street.
Yeah.
Word.
As you hurry back inside, you notice that all of the tenants of the apartment building are kind of just milling about their business. They're doing life as usual. Many of which on the first floor you don't actually know because you don't spend any large amount of time here.
Is there any like alarm system built into this building? Just like a fire alarm, anything that Red Eye would probably, I assume, already hacked into living in the building and just have access to, but maybe not. Just to,
Absolutely.
get everyone out of the out into the main space. We need to get people talking and know what's going on.
So I could allow you to use a local expert or role like that, like we just used. I'm not going to. I would say that you've lived here long enough. You would know that there is actually a local access terminal for your personal network in the lobby. And you would also know that there is one on the roof.
Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, I would just like to go jack into that lobby one.
Okay.
I think we
So-
get to the roof as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. You want to go to
Yeah.
the roof? We can do the roof. You just pull me around. I don't care. I just jack in where I'm told to.
Let's do it. Let's go jack in on the roof.
Okay. Get everyone up to the roof.
Maybe
Jacking
not all
on
the
roof
civvies.
sounds gross.
Oh, well, the reason why I was jacking in was set off the alarm to let everyone
Yeah,
know
I
what
know.
was going
We'll,
on.
we'll let them all go, but let's get to the roof.
Okay.
All right. And as you guys get into the elevator and you ride it all the way up to the roof, you do notice that there is a larger satellite dish off to one side, and this is where the data terminal would be. Jaden, Red Eye could hack into this using their network abilities or netrunner abilities.
Yeah, of course. That's what Red Eye does. It's going to run over that terminal, jack in.
Perfect. So you have jacked into it, and now you can go from there. As always, floor 1 is a password.
But yeah, I will use my backdoor ability. If you would prefer to use that cut. And yeah, that was a 5, so 12 on the password there.
Perfect. You do manage to get through the password, and you're into the system.
Okay, I'm going to throw out a quick Pathfinder just so I see the depths of what I'm dealing with. 9 and 7, so 16.
Okay, you would be able to see the first 4 floors, including the one that you're on. You can see that the alarms for the apartment are actually held on the 2nd floor.
Easy enough. Okay, what's on 3rd and 4th, just so I have a general idea?
3rd would be the exhaust systems, the ventilation and things like that.
Okay.
And 4th is the sprinkler system.
Good to know, good to know. Okay, we could do some fun stuff if we wanted to get real crafty.
I like crafty.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pop out. I'll just jack out. I don't see any reason. We can plan with the information that I know, and see what we got. So I'm
So do
gonna
you
run
put
over
on
the
a-
guys.
Do you actually do anything with the alarm?
No, I think we should probably throw together a real quick plan, and then I'll just jack back in, get down into the alarm,
Sure.
and go from there.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to run over to Mover, and I totally forgot your guys' name,
Scott.
Jody, and that's terrible because you've said it a
It's all
bunch.
good.
Yeah, Scott. Okay. So I'm going to run over to Mover and Scott and let them know I can access the alarm system, the exhaust system, and the sprinkler system, and I think we've got some pretty potentially good maneuvers there. Just spitballing here, but alarm system, get everyone up to the top, which is actually probably counterproductive because I'm assuming our system is to get everyone to go downstairs. But if we get everyone up on the roof, anyone who's capable of fighting, we can easily lock down we only really have one entrance up to the roof.
It's
I
true,
mean,
I
they
was
might try
thinking-
and blow it up from underneath of us, so we do got to think about that. But with the sprinkler system, if we can get something flammable in there, we could burn those
That
burn
is
those bad
interesting.
guys.
Nah, I'm just gonna leave both of those in and just beat that one.
That's fine.
I like these plans. I was thinking, yeah, we should try and get that crazy guy in the body armor at least to try and help us.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that the exhaust system to me seems like one way or another I can use it to control the flame, right? I can either use the exhaust system to pull all of the air out after we've burned a whole bunch of people and clear it off.
Interesting.
You know. And that'll put out the
definitely
flame so
try.
we can limit the overall flame if it all works out. Or we might burn down your building with this plan, though.
So as
Well,
you're
they're
standing
gonna
here
blow it up
discussing
if
this-
we don't burn it down. So like, it's like a lose-lose. So let's at least do it on our terms.
Yeah, although also being on the roof of a burning building is also a little sketchy. Just analyzing.
This is true.
As you are standing around discussing this, you have to be aware that traveling from the bottom to the top, talking to the Easel Man, jacking into the network at the top, and finding all this information has taken you about 27 minutes. And off in the horizon, you start to hear chopper blades whirring in the air.
Can I use my cyber optic targeting to like see them and see if I can figure out like how many choppers we got, how many people there may be coming, that kind of thing?
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay. So I'm not sure what kind of role you want me to do.
So that to me,
because it's technically
would-
for like marksmanship, but like I'm not wanting to shoot them yet. I'm just like
I would
looking
allow
for,
either
like,
a
my gun.
perception or a marksmanship, whichever you would prefer, because I can see what you're trying to do. You were trying
Yeah.
to mark them. And I would, no modifications for distance, even though they're off in the distance. Like, you could make
Okay.
it and do it clearly.
Okay, I'll use my marksmanship because that uses my reflex, and that's a killer combo. So 21.
Amazing. Spectacular.
Marksmanship is what I'm real good at. Everything else,
Oh, don't sell yourself short, buddy. You're good at so much more.
You know that's not true, Ruin. You know me in real life.
Yeah, you're just a sorry sack. I'm sorry I hang out with you.
Someone had to say it.
All right, well, with your roll of 21, you are able to see perfectly inside the chopper. What you can see is that there are 5 Militech police coming towards you. But something even more concerning is that they have a netrunner. And you have seen glimpses of this netrunner on the local media. Their name is Crunch, and you know that they're hardcore.
Captain Crunch.
See, and the song from School of Rock just went into my head. I was like, "You're not hardcore unless you live hardcore." Like it's
Legend of the Red was way
hardcore. So good. Okay, so I communicate that information to you guys.
Okay. So they got a high class runner. We can maybe change the plan around slightly. We got booze on the 4th floor. We could maybe get it into the sprinkler system. Drop it on if they land on the roof. That's what I assume they probably would. They're in a helicopter.
Yeah,
Up
would there
here,
be
we can
space in the
shoot at
street?
'em.
Would there be which in the street, sorry?
like space for them to like drop people down. Like either
Oh, for sure.
I assume
Yeah.
like it's not ladders.
They're going
in
to go
space
wherever
or
you're
in the
not.
future, but- yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
can't
fair.
make this
Good point.
easy. I'm the GM. I gotta do something. It's either the roof or the street. You pick your stand.
That's fair. Well, if we can get them to land on the roof, we can make a stand on our floor, because I think we're the one from the roof, aren't we? They're
You
going to
are.
probably do a sweep and clear on the way down, although there's no access from the roof to our floor other than by the elevator, so really they could go whatever way they want.
How far away are they?
You would estimate probably 2 minutes. Like, you have enough to do a couple of actions, but not enough to like set up like a large perimeter or anything like that.
Yeah. And too far for me to try shooting with like a feasible chance of success.
Yeah, it would probably. I mean, you could try. You could always try.
I mean, it's probably armored. I don't think they would just fly in on a, assault rifle shootable, helicopter. That
I was
seems
thinking like the glass,
easy.
like the front.
Yeah,
It's probably bulletproof,
I don't,
you're right.
I don't know what they got going on. But either which way, you guys are gonna have to do probably a large amount of the fighting, because if they got Crunch on there, I'm gonna need to be in a terminal the whole time.
Yeah.
If I don't deal with him, you guys are gonna have other stuff
Okay.
to deal with for sure.
Just for your reference, it would be a DV of 30 to try to hit them.
Yeah, I was looking at the reference guide, and that's why I was like, that's not happening. That's a
well,
stellar roll.
Side note, and we'll get into this in their review, but their reference guide is stellar.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
I like the idea of trying to weaponize our security system, so I think Red Eye should probably work on that and keeping the other Netrunner out.
Okay,
I think
well
we
then,
try and force them to land on the street, because it's easier to hold from the top than it is to like be pushed down from the middle.
Works for me.
I mean, they're probably not just gonna kill everyone. So if we turn on the alarm, that'll send people down into the first floor. They'll have to probably force everyone out or kill them all. But either which way, so if they all die, that's still time. We buy ourselves a lot of time here. Likely they just force them out. And while they're doing that, that gives us enough time for you guys to get something flammable into the system. I'll stay up here. I'll stay locked in. I can kick it into, go once they clear out the bottom floor.
Yeah.
And we can burn them to the best of our ability, and then you guys can clean up the rest.
Yep. Roger.
Would I know how granular I can control, like, the sprinklers and the exhaust? Do I have, like, per floor control, or is it just kind of a building-wide system?
You would have to. It would be a building-wide system. You could do that, but you would have to actually, get through every floor of the security system to there to actually access them,
Yeah.
or the network system rather, not the security.
But I would assume that I could have some amount of ability to bounce between them once I've gotten down to, the sprinkler floor. Because I would go hit the alarm on my way down. I would not probably mess with the exhaust, hit the sprinkler at the bottom, pop back up, as long as all goes well and there's not anything crazy. And then, drop the exhaust to kill the flames and stuff like that. I just more was wondering, like, if I'm able to, like, control floor, or do these guys got to get up onto the roof again before I can drop the system, or else because we're going to burn a whole lot of stuff.
Your interface level is 7.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna say that you could probably do a floor by floor.
Okay.
If you were lower, like if you were like a 1 or a 2, I'd say it's just not in your ability.
Yeah, there's only up to 9, I think, is the top of an interface.
Yeah.
So yeah, Red Eye's kind of nuts for a pretty early level person, but hey, I'm cool with it. Okay, so that seems like a reasonable plan. If you guys can get some stuff that I can burn into there and drop a bunch of flames across a couple of floors, I can burn them as they come up across the floors. If you guys want to meet them in the 4th floor, I won't burn you guys, obviously. And we can go from there. You can clean up whoever's left, and I'll deal with the Netrunner.
Let's go
Hopefully
get
he doesn't get in the way.
the alcoholic's booze and maybe his body armor.
Yeah, anything else you guys can find. See if the the doctor, if he's got any alcohol, like as quickly as you can, obviously, whatever you can get. But the more we got, the better, because it is going to be spread throughout a whole sprinkler system. We need to try and get a pretty flammable substance out.
Am I already wearing my armor? I assume like I'm just wearing it all the time.
Yeah, you guys had just come back from a run. Like,
Okay.
you would definitely need to be wearing that.
Okay.
It's a hard life. Okay, so I'm gonna go hop into the jack back in, and then they can go do their thing.
Okay. Well, Scott and Mover run off and kind of do their things. I assume that you guys would split off to the 2 different doors just to get it done faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Scott, you're going to go to Rico, and Mover, you're going to go to Dr. Carver. Now, when you knock on Rico's door, you can hear that... or sorry, not Rico, Grant. It would be Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah. You knock on Grant's door, and you can see he opens it sheepishly, just as he did before. What, sir? He looks at you in the eye and sees that you're kind of nervous, too, and... Oh, shit. What's going down?
The corpos are coming. I don't have much time to explain, but if we don't do something right now, we're not going to have a place to live. And in fact, we're probably not going to be living. I tell him to grab whatever he can to fight with, get up to the roof, and I also tell him that we're taking his liquor, and I also tell him that I'm going to give him 3 months off his rent.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, let's get this. Let's do it. And he
I knew you'd
definitely
be down
like
for a
helps.
fight.
He moves it faster with you, you know.
Sweet.
And then Mover, you go and you bang as loud as you can on Dr. Carver's door, because you know that he didn't really answer before, and he opens it quicker this time. You can see that he's washing up his hands and would have been doing that right beside the door because there's a sink there, as if he is used to this process. And yes, what can I help you with now?
Doctor, we got military coming in. I'm gonna need your help getting everybody out, and if you have anything flammable here, I'm gonna need it.
Why are the corporations
Now
coming
we don't have time. We don't have time for this. Now let's go.
Yes, fine. I will go knocking on doors. As for flammables, I guess you can use some
Rubbing
of the liquids that
alcohol,
you brought in.
anything.
Yeah. Over in that cupboard there's tons of it. Tons of disinfectants, things like that. But you're going to need to get me more. I can't live without it.
We will take care of it as long as we all get through this. I promise.
Yes, fine. And he actually runs out on his own and starts knocking on doors and trying to get everybody to start heading down. And Red Eye, you can see from the roof that the chopper is getting very, very close. In fact, they've almost circled around the top of your building, and seeing that you're there, realizing that this is probably some sort of trap, they have banked and started steering towards the street, going to touchdown and dropping lines for their people to what do you call that when you do that thing?
Fast rope.
Well, yeah,
Rappel.
but there's like
Belay?
It is
rappel.
fast rope.
Thank you. Rappel
Fast
down.
Fast roping. It's belay, isn't it?
There's all
Belay's the
different
person
terms.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they say belay
fast roping
on.
is like they're just sliding down really quick. Rappelling would be more like bouncing off a wall, more controlled, really, or slow down.
Okay,
Sliding.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
With style.
Falling with style, yeah.
Okay, well, seeing that, then I'm going to want to jack in real freaking quick because I know that Netrunner is going to be down there at any second. I've been in the first floor. I don't think I need to. I have the password now, so I'm going to quickly
see that
drop
their
down into the
Netrunner-
second floor.
You can see that their Netrunner is approaching. They have decided that they are actually close enough to the terminal from the exterior wall that they can actually jack in from the outside. They will not need to be inside the building. And you can see that they start hacking. So being that you're in and you are on the second floor, what is that you intend to do?
Well, I would have probably dropped a freaking, what should I call it on it, but I didn't have a chance. I didn't think about that, so I'm probably going to leave it on the second floor here. I'm going to hit the alarm. I'm assuming now I'm at a 3-turn limit with this guy. 3 action, kind of independent. initiative per se?
Yeah. In fact, why don't we all just roll initiative now? Now, initiative in Cyberpunk is determined by your reflex plus a d10. And if you have any other abilities on top of that could modify it, you can add those in.
Nice. I got a 16.
14.
Okay.
What was that, Jaden?
You said it was reflex, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's 12.
Okay. Now, I am...
reflex.
Are you guys fine that for the 5 Militech, I just roll 1 initiative for them?
Sure.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Go for
They're a
it.
squood.
Squeak.
Yeah, that means they're all gonna burn as a group.
Oh. Oh no, never mind. We're playing a different game. That's a better number.
I hope there's a little voice in the back of all your guys' head of Red Eye said to light flames everywhere on the floors that he's gonna burn.
Putting candles up.
So they actually
I actually have
rolled.
something for that. Yeah, keep going.
Oh, sorry. The personal security rolled an 8 total for their initiative. Now, Jaden, do you know what the stock reflex is for level 5 of the Netrunner?
I don't
That's okay.
particularly know. Let me just see. Yeah, no, that doesn't have anything particular. Alright, booster.
That's fine. I got it. I apparently forgot to print off that stat sheet, so that's on me. Yes, I have it. Ooh, okay. Well, their base reflex is a 9.
Nice, that was mine too. I just rolled poorly.
So they actually rolled 11. So they're going to go after Red Eye.
Good. Thank God.
Crunch. So the initiative order is going to be Scott, followed by Mover, followed by Red Eye, Crunch, and then lastly, the Militech. There are 5 of them, so I will move 5 different guys at that point.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, take us away.
So where'd I end up at the end of this? Am I back on the roof, or am I still with Grant coming up?
At the end of that, you were just outside of Rico's room. You're kind of near the elevator area, so you would be able to use your movement to get back to the roof if that's what you would like.
Yeah.
Or you could get in the elevator and go down.
We're gonna set the. I have these pocket flares that were in my inventory. We're gonna set those up as the flames for our sprinkler shenanigans. And did we get that part of it done, like putting the liquid into the sprinkler system during our before combat time? Or
No, you are still holding the liquor.
Okay, and where do I have to go for that?
So we would say that for this particular apartment, there would be a maintenance terminal room kind of thing off the top of the building.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to toss a couple of these flares around the hallway here on the floor that we're on, and then use the movement to get up to the roof with Grant.
Perfect. Now I will allow you to use that as your full action. So in initiative order, every character, every player can do a movement, a free action, and a full action. So it's pretty straightforward here. Meaning that you're doing that, I'm not going to make you roll for it, but I will say that it is your full action.
Yep.
Okay,
Cool.
And you are back on the roof at the start of next turn.
Okay.
Mover.
So I will rifle through that cabinet and grab anything that's flammable, as well as some bandages. That would be something I could light on fire to kind of have the flame started somewhere.
Absolutely. So we will say that these are all pretty available items. They are ones that a doctor would have, so you could find them easily. We will say that you can use half your movement to kind of try to find that stuff. And then you would have half your movement left to go wherever you'd like, but I am going to need a full action to make those.
Sure.
I don't think I can let you do that without some sort of roll, though. We want to know that they are of some sort of quality Molotov. So what kind of roll do you think you could use to make those?
Would it be like local expert? Like something that like a mercenary would know from like combat, like raiding buildings and stuff? It's not really local, I guess. It's just like knowledge that I feel like I would know from like work.
Yeah, I don't know if local expert would fit that, but do you have education?
Yeah, it's a +2.
I think
I know
that would
things
probably
that are
be
flammable
okay.
will catch on fire. That's about all I got.
Yeah, I think that that's probably your best one to use.
Okay.
You are educated as a drug addict. You should know what burns, hopefully.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm mostly a pill popper.
Oh, that's fair if you're a pill popper.
He wants to be a
Dabble in
classy
the
drug
making.
addict.
Well, no,
Only
you
them
don't have
designer
time.
drugs.
Like you're a combat where you just like pop a pill and go.
fair.
Anyway, I rolled 12.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. You make Molotovs with that very easily. Let's roll a roll me a D10 because that's the standard kind of roll.
3.
You made 3 Molotovs.
Sweet. Okay.
Good.
Now, just a heads up, we will have to look at the damage for that. But for the quick start scenario, all explosives and firebombs and stuff like that have a radius of 3. And so that's 9 squares if you're looking at that.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I was thinking more just like something that would start the fire so that when Red Eye makes it rain fire, we have something flammable to catch.
Perfect. With your other half movement, would you like to move towards the elevator?
Sure. I'll kind of move towards the elevator and then kind of like ready up, I guess.
All right. You get there in time to see Scott taking it upwards. On your next turn, you could move the rest of the way to it and go from there.
Okay.
Red Eye.
Yeah. Okay, so I was on the second floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then, yeah, so I am a level 7, so I get 3 actions per turn. If they're net actions, it's not obviously normal actions. If I do a normal action, then it's outside of that. But for my first, I am going to just activate the alarm, if that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess
So that would be a control.
is what I need to do.
Yeah, so while Jaden rolls that, what he's talking about is there are these terms in Cyberpunk that are called meat space and net space. And net space is where he is hooked into the network. And meat space is, well, where our bodies are all made of meat. So anything that takes place in the physical world. He has to make a choice on his turn whether he's using a meat space action or a network action. And he is choosing network.
Yeah. So that is a 9 plus 7, so a 16 on controlling that bad boy.
Absolutely. You beat a DV of 11, and you are able to do that. So describe to us what happens.
Yeah, he's just gonna flip the gigantic switch that is just sitting in the middle of the room that's like 10 times bigger than him. Go, ugh! Big old on off, and it just gets super duper loud. Like, you wouldn't think the alarms are probably that good, I would assume, and everyone, I would hope, follows the proper emergency rules, or some of them at least, and starts evacuating to the, out of the building, which would be the bottom floor.
Mm-hmm. So, as you do this, you can see that of the 5 Militech guards, 3 of them begin to enter the building, and 2 of them stand back with Crunch. Now, Crunch is going to actually start to hack in. And so they're going to roll on... you know what? They're going to roll Scanner first. And Crunch is having a bad day. Crunch rolls Scanner and is unable to get very high. So I'm not going to tell you what they can see, but they look very frustrated. Now, they see that the first floor is going to be a password, so they are going to do that. And they are able to get the password and get in. They did also have to use one of their actions to actually jack into the server, so that is their turn.
Mm-hmm. Didn't I still have 2 net actions? I only turned on the alarm.
I apologize.
No worries. I wasn't going to do anything that would have got in the way of your turn. All I was going to do was drop I have a, whatchamacallit, where's my actual stuff? Black ice. I was going to leave my Hellhound on the second floor, activated to, attack the Netrunner when he comes by, and then I was going to pop down onto the 3rd floor.
Well, let's roll them anyways. Let's do them. That's my fault.
Yeah, no worries. I think with the drop in the black ice, I don't think it's anything other than it just takes a turn. I don't think I've read any rules about me having to activate it other than it just takes an action to leave him there and give him that rule, and then he just follows that simple rule.
To my knowledge, you are right. They are not like pets. You cannot control them to do anything, but you can take a turn to activate them or a turn to deactivate them. And if they are killed, you can use them again, but that requires activating them.
Yeah, so then I would use one of my net actions to activate the black ice, Hellhound, tell him, Netrunner comes in here, bite him. And then, just use my move down onto the 3rd floor, which just has the exhaust, and I don't have any plans of doing anything down there, so I'm just gonna hang out down there for the moment.
Perfect. All right.
Actually, I would turn on the exhaust, so I'd use control quickly to turn on the exhaust if I can, right? There's no virus or anything there, or
nope,
I mean, not virus.
You're fine.
Yeah, just that. So I would also quickly turn on the exhaust just to pump, if I can control it well enough, a bunch of oxygen into the rooms to make sure that it's really nice and flammable, so it's got lots of fuel to roll with.
Yeah, no, that is correct. You are good to go there. So
it's a control.
Go for it.
So it'd be 10.
Unfortunately, you are not able to get control of that.
That is fair. It's a tricky day. I'm freaking out.
Stressful. All right, whose turn now?
Well, is that Jaden's turn? I just want to make sure
this time.
Yeah,
that would be my 3rd action. No worries. Doesn't get in the way of anything you did, so we're all good.
No, absolutely not. I totally would have retconned what I did anyways, but it's good that we don't need to. So Crunch has taken those actions. They are trying to get into the system. And following that, the private security is going to start moving. Now, as they approach the door, the 3 that have split off, they are all of a sudden overtaken by a crowd of people who start to come. You didn't realize that this many people lived in this building. It almost seems like there are multiple families living in one room. That's not a problem with you being a slumlord. Yeah, that's more of a problem of them, rigging the system. But as you guys know that this is happening down below, the personal security are all of a sudden just swarmed and they can't get into the building yet. And in fact, they get so upset by this that they begin to gun down the crowd.
Oh, of course they do. It's dark.
This is a dark game, my friend.
Typical
Hopefully the
corpos.
kids got out first before they got mad.
All right, and so we're gonna roll damage because that's how the cookie crumbles.
I think better that than burning them to death by our hands. We get to kind of give plausible deniability. We didn't actually kill them.
So here's the thing: they needed a DV of 15, which they got. How critical hits work in this game? And I did have to look it up, but if you roll a 6 on your damage, that's a critical hit. So you then get to add an automatic 5 to your damage roll. And so as they kind of just start shooting randomly into the crowd with their pistols. They start dealing a lot of damage, and 3 people immediately go down. And then the crowd just goes even more chaotic as they start to scatter because of gunshots. And the 2 personal security that are held with Crunch, they are even more on edge, but they don't seem to be moving very far. We're going to go back to the top of the order with Scott.
Can I go out of turn so that Cade's character can get to the elevator before I take it up, because he was only like halfway there?
Yes, absolutely. Cyberpunk does allow you to hold your moves until somebody else can move.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Mover, that's up to you now.
Okay, sounds good. So then, I will take the elevator up to the roof. Then once I'm up there, just kind of group up with them and...
Okay. As you two arrive at the roof, you see that Red Eye is jacked in, and they are making all sorts of movements with their hands as the virtual space around them is encompassing their entire, their entire vision.
And I'll spend my turn dumping the liquor and whatever, like rubbing alcohol or whatever that we got into the sprinkler system and turn it around full blast.
Sure. You managed to find very easily the maintenance door. It's kind of just like a little shed type thing. And you can see a giant vat of water that would be held for that. It would be very easy to open up the hatch and just dump it in.
Okay, cool.
And that is your full action. Mover, do you help with that?
Yeah, I'll help with that.
Perfect. So we are back to Red Eye then.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. Does Red Eye know particularly where the guys are? Because we don't have any flames set up on the first
Security
floor. Probably,
cameras?
I would assume. Yeah, but I don't have access to any cameras. I only have an alarm and exhausted sprinklers. You should have sprung for the security cameras, baby.
Yeah, it's the slums,
I get it. We also do a lot of shady stuff. People don't need any recordings. So yeah, I wouldn't particularly know where they are. So I mean, I could kick on the sprinkler system and start the flames, but I don't think it would actually mess with the guys.
Yeah, they're not in the building yet.
Yeah. So that means that I wouldn't know when to do it. We didn't think about that, did we?
Could get some more ice set up if you have it.
I only have the one, but I could like move up. I can do some stuff and get set up beforehand and just hang out by the sprinklers. That's probably what I'm going to do. So yeah,
Sure.
I was on the exhaust, so I'll move down, which movement doesn't take an action as far as I remember.
It does not. I will also tell you that you could try to scan and see more of the system.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, Well, might as well. Why not? I'll use Pathfinder on the 3rd floor there. Or no, I'll move down to the 4th and I'll use Pathfinder just in case. Dig a little deeper.
Okay. So when you get to the 4th, you could use an action to see what's there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with dropping that Pathfinder and go with 14 there.
Okay, 14. So being that you are further in, it is getting a little bit more technical. I will tell you what's on the next floor, but I wouldn't say that you'd be able to see the whole system despite the fact that you're further in, so that you can see that on the 5th floor, virtual floor, you would be able to find the elevators, and you're also able to see that you are on the floor with the sprinklers.
Yeah. Okay. So I know there's elevators down from me. I'm currently on sprinklers. We have you guys only set up flames on the 4th floor, right? That was all you had time for.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, well,
Now
either
that I
way.
think about it,
Sorry,
we should send the
just to clarify, you put them on the 4th floor?
whatever the floor that all the apartments were on. The flames.
Okay, so that would be the 3rd.
Yeah.
There are only
floor.
3 floors.
Yeah.
Okay, roof. Sorry, I don't know where did I get 4th from.
The thought though is that if we could rig some kind of trap in the elevator, and you lock the doors when they get in there, and we set it off, that actually sounds pretty tasty.
Can they
'Cause I
communicate
can't
with
take the
me
stairs.
while I'm in net running?
Yeah, the world does not stop around you.
Yeah, but I just mean, like, am I so focused that I can't hear them if they walk up and say, "Hey, we're
No.
doing this"? Can
No.
I hear them?
I'm going to say that because you have the ability to switch between meat actions and network actions at any time, you would be able to like focus enough to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to tell me anything, then I'm always open to adjust my plans.
Sure.
So I will say that rounds are 3-second intervals. So
Yeah.
you have enough time to shout a quick message, but like nothing too complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna say we're gonna set a firebomb in the elevator.
Yeah, if you just said firebomb elevator, I feel like I could piece that together.
Yep.
Okay, I will
but-
allow that.
Yeah. Okay. Would he be able to do that? It probably wouldn't be until his turn, though, would it?
It wouldn't be until his turn. I would bend the rule slightly to say that you could ask for a suggestion and use your action.
No, I think that either which way, I probably still wouldn't see a reason to be on the sprinklers at the moment, and I think that going into the elevators gives me the best opportunity because either I feel like I could control them and stop them from using it, or...
That's fair.
know.
And to be fair, you've already used network actions, so you can't use meat space actions, so you wouldn't be able to communicate.
I'm kind of locked in. Yeah, because I went with Pathfinder there. So I would drop down into the elevator room, and...
Sorry, you can't move floors because you've already moved to the sprinkler floor.
Oh, yeah, you can only move one floor at a time.
Yes.
Yeah, or per round. Yep, that's what I'm going with. Okay, so then I'm just going to get myself set up. I'm going to use an action to run the program Speedy Gonzalez, so I get +4 speed, because that's always a classy idea. And then I'll use my last to drop a flak on myself as well, which just stops the first successful attack from dealing brain damage to me.
Nice. Solid. And that's your turn?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm just hanging out in the sprinklers, kind of ready for
All
whatever
right.
comes next.
It is going to go back to Crunch, who is still trying to get into the system. They do manage to get the password this time, and they are in. That is their first one. They are now going to try to use Pathfinder as well to try to see how many floors. And they are able to see a few floors here. And so for their next turn, they are also going to roll. Let me see here. They are going to roll and sorry, I this is intense. I'm so happy that you learned how to do this. There's a
little bit going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's like so many different things that you can actually try. Okay, well, you know what? They're actually not going to take their third action. They're going to move down to the next floor, just like you. And they are actually... No, here is what they are going to do. They are going to use control, because now they're on the alarms floor. Now, did
I
you
left my
set...
hellhound on that floor.
You did. Yes, I was just about to ask that. So here's the thing. When this happens, the Black Ice, the Hellhound, is an attack program, and it is already set up to attack. It is expecting that something is going to be there. So what's going to have to happen is that according to the rules, I am going to have to roll Crunch's interface, any speed bonus they have, which they don't currently, and a d10, versus Red Eyes, Black Ice's speed, and a d10. So, Jaden, we are going to roll at the same time. So tell me what you get.
Yeah, just before you do that, though, there is a way to deal with Black Ice quickly as well. If the guy has an action, he can slide, which allows him to flee combat with a Black Ice program. With a net action. I don't know where he is on his amount.
Yes, but unfortunately, because he is laying in wait, I don't get that chance to avoid the attack. Yes.
That's fair.
Cool. But you are right
do
that
this.
I
I'm
do
excited.
have a spare action.
I just want to be fair before my guy bites him.
No, I really appreciate that.
Okay, so I am doing a D10. Okay. Ooh. He rolled a 4 plus his defense of 7, so a total of 11.
Unfortunately, Crunch rolled a 14.
Oh.
So, with that, I think I just avoid the attack. I've defended myself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I think it's only if it hits you that it does damage, or else it does nothing. But I believe it can attack you on its initiative turn. There is a rule for it. I think we didn't acknowledge it, but I think they go at the top of the initiative when they're set, and then they don't do anything on their initiative until it procs.
Yeah, when you were so with if you had beaten me on that roll, you would be able to attack immediately, and then you would also be set into the top of the initiative order right in front of Crunch. Being that you did not succeed, you do not get to attack, and I'm going to say that you place one beneath me, so you'll now be between Crunch and the cybersecurity or the Militech security for attacks with the Hellhound. However, I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to use Slide to avoid the attack.
Yeah, you get 1 slide per turn, and I believe it allows you to jump to like one of the floors. Yeah, you can escape the black ice to an adjacent floor of the elevator, but not past a password or other net obstruction.
Yes. So you're going to actually have to roll their perception plus a D10 against my check here.
Okay, so I don't know what their perception is, but the D10 is a 10. Crunch is good.
Yeah. Did it not have the black ice there?
Oh, is it? It's for the black ice. Oh yeah, it is. Sorry, I'm being stupid. It does have it. I was thinking of the other guy. It's 8, so it's 18.
18.
Yeah,
oh my goodness. No, you stop her. She is unable to escape this turn, and she's out of actions.
Nice.
Yeah. So going to that, it will be the Militech, I believe, because you would have taken your turn by lying in wait.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Militech they are still trying to do some pushing through the crowd. Because people have scattered, the 3 that kind of went off on their own enter the first floor, and they use all of their movement to try to get close to the elevator. They are there. They do not have enough movement to get in. They also do not have any actions that they could really take right now because they're looking for you guys and you're not there. Therefore, back to Scott.
Okay. Trying to think of how we could like rig a like Molotov cocktail type firebomb trap inside the elevator that we could activate with the
I
James
have
control of it. All right.
I have an idea for the elevator, but it's
'Kay.
it's pretty crude.
I like
so it's up to you, but it's your turn, so do whatever you want.
Well, what's the suggestion?
So I have a cyber arm with rippers, which are basically Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I throw a Molotov into the elevator as it's going down, and then we just cut the cable, and it falls. And A, they can't use it. B, as it smashes, there's now flames. Make it rain fire.
I like this actually. Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna like make up the Molotov cocktail for my turn. I also want to see like, can I do that as a free action or would that be my full action?
To rig up the
Yeah,
Molotov?
just to make it for Kate's
Mover has
character.
3.
I already have 3. That
Oh,
are made
you already have them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna leave that trapping it up to you then. I'm gonna run to the edge of the roof. Can I see the 2 other Militech that are outside with the Netrunner?
You sure can.
Are they like? I sure can. Okay, I just want to pop some shots at them.
Do it.
honest with
Roll.
Okay. So for the skill to add to, or the stat attribute to add to the roll,
So it's going to be your reflex plus your
Okay.
marksmanship and a D10.
Yeah. Yeah, I just have to look on this sheet where marksmanship is because there's a lot of stats.
Now, with combat, while Jody is looking that up, he could do two things. He could do his melee or brawl, or he could do his range. With range, you get one attack per round, but it is a higher impact. Whereas with brawl or with melee, you can actually attack twice per round, and they can be different targets. But the trade-off is that they do less damage.
Yeah, so I got a 16.
Okay. Well, they
And
are
specifically, I wanted to aim for the net runner if I can see them.
Okay. Now, Jody, if you aim for the head, you can do that for double damage if you succeed, but at a -6 check.
No, I just want to aim for center mass. I want to hit them and get them off the net, distracted by being shot.
Yeah. Well, they are highly distracted.
Yeah, so I rolled a 16.
Okay. Well, I am going to look at their armor class, and you're definitely going to be able to hit them. So can you roll damage?
Okay, so on this pistol, it's 3d6, which comes out to 10.
10. Now, they do have body armor of 7.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is you are able to hit them. You are able to deal 3 damage, but there's also armor deterioration in this game. And so now their armor is reduced by 1 next round to a total of 6 rather than 7. And you deal 3 damage.
Cool. And does that have any impact on their net running?
I am going to say that, like, for sure, they're going to be like, they're going to have to make a choice here of whether that they're going to continue their actions or if they are going to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now they have people with them. As for like jacking them out of the system, no, it wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Where's my
Knowing
turn?
that Crunch doesn't have a bodysuit, he's a noob. Like, come on. He ain't no Chumba in this net running game.
Fantastic.
I only run with legit runners.
Mover.
All right. So Mover is going to go to the elevator, open up the doors and hit floor 1, and then leave and throw in the Molotov cocktail. So it like explodes as it goes down. And then I'm going to use my Ripper Claws to cut the cable. So
Just to confirm. Just to confirm, you want it to explode while it's going down?
When it hits.
So basically, like, I'm going to throw it in, and then, like, it's going to explode, but the doors are going to close.
How are you going to cut the cable then? Or pull the door back
I
open?
have a cybernetic arm. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So you press 1, throw it in,
Yeah.
and
they
then
explode.
the doors close. It goes down. You reopen up the doors and cut the cable.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Or I do
how
it
that
before the doors close. I just, like, hold the thing open. Like, it doesn't matter.
So perhaps I'm ignorant on explosives because, I'm not a pyro or an arsonist or things like that.
Rookie.
Clearly. Can you explain to me how you want it to explode when it gets to the bottom if the Molotov explode up here?
Oh, no, it's already going to be exploded. But, like, the flames aren't
Basically-
going to burn up instantly as it goes down 3 floors.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
basically,
it's going to spread.
There's all this flammable, like, liquor, gasoline, whatever, inside the elevator. When it hits at the bottom, the force is going to, like, shoot that out the broken doors, in theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
so,
a
like,
little
as this.
bit.
Well, I'm not
Enough
even
to
thinking,
make
like.
them not want to come inside.
Yeah, but if
Well,
the
I'm not even
doors
thinking
even open
out
up,
there.
they would have fire. Like there would then be open fire on the first floor. Worst case scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more like cutting the cables is to make sure they can't take the elevator up. Whereas the
drops
Molotov
really
is just to
fast.
make sure there's some kind of ignition source on the first floor for when we make it rain.
That's true.
It's not a terrible
Okay.
idea.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that explanation. All right. Well, I think with this, I don't see why we need to necessarily make you roll for all that stuff. I think we can just do it. You're not under very much pressure because there's no enemies up here. So go ahead.
Okay.
Would you like to roll
that then.
your melee for your rippers?
Sure. So my rippers don't add anything to the actual roll, but melee weapon is Dex +5.
And melee
I got
weapons
19.
actually ignore half of the armor value.
Oh, okay.
So,
Sorry.
19?
I got 19. Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know
You
what the
do
armor
manage.
value of a cable would be, but
Not
19.
high enough.
19.
So you manage to slice through the cable, and as you hear that really crisp snapping sound as the cable like retracts upon itself, you
Like
all of
a
a sudden
big
hear the sound
guitar
of
string
grating
snapping.
steel. Exactly. Grating steel as this thing starts to rocket towards the bottom. And as it's moving through the air, we're going to go to Red Eye because I think I know what Red Eye is going to get to.
Okay. Am I? Okay. Well, yeah, I guess probably. I was going down to the elevators anyway, so I was in the sprinklers and I just activated my stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna drop down into the elevator. I think that I would pretty clearly see that it's sliding down super fast. So I'm gonna try and go in for a control and just make sure that the doors at the bottom are open, just so that we
Nice.
can get maximum
That's
effect.
smart. Yeah.
So that is a 10 on with my 7, so 17. And I mean, I think it's a crit, so I could roll another 10, but I don't think I need to roll higher than a 17 to, open those doors.
You do not. No. So you managed to make sure that they are open. Now that's your first action. Did you want to do anything else?
Yeah, well, I still don't want to hit the sprinklers just yet. I don't know, maybe. Because, I could turn it on right now, and then it would burn the bottom floor. And that's good. Or do we wait until someone's up on the... Well, I can control floor by floor. I don't need to worry about that. I'm being stupid. Yeah, I'm going to freaking... Or I can't pop back up, though, can I?
I don't think so. So I was just questioning that of if you were able to control things once you already moved them, but I don't think you can. You have to be on the floor.
Yeah, I think then I'm there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, where does it explain floor movement? I just want to see that quickly so I get it. Okay, well, so I've opened up the elevator. It's sliding down. There's not really anything else I can do then. And I'm just kind of hanging out.
You could roll Pathfinder one more time and see if you've reached the end.
Yeah, might as well. That's a good point. Yeah, let's go with that. I'll just see what else we got going on underneath me in case there's anything else. So 9 + 7, 16.
Yeah. So you managed to map the entire apartment building, and because you're so far in, you see that the next floor for the network would be the last, and it controls all electrical systems.
All systems. So if I went down to 6, I could have just messed with everything.
Specifically electrical systems, so
Oh,
all of your circuits and
specifically.
things like that.
We could use that as an ignition source.
Yeah. There's a few now.
Now
We've
we
got
know.
lots. Yeah, but that's hard. It's hard for me to bounce around between floors, right? So I know that I got electrical down there.
You got to get to the sprinkler again.
Yeah, well, I just can't move any
Yeah,
further. That's the end of my stuff right now. But yeah, sprinklers has got to be the next go. Because, well, that just then locks off the 4th floor if I ever want to. But we can drop 1st floor. Yeah, we'll get there. But that should be all my actions. I can't really do much else.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're going to go to Crunch, and now Crunch is still dealing with that Hellhound, so they are going to try to slide. So I'm going to need you to do that perception check versus Crunch's slide.
Plus a 6, so 14.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Crunch is able to slide away, and they take the opportunity to go to the next floor, in which they are going to immediately see the ventilation system. Now, your ventilation system is running, isn't it?
Yep.
But they don't know of anything else, so I don't think they're going to move. They're going to do Pathfinder again to try to see the rest of the building. And they do roll high enough with a 15. And so they are able to get from ventilation. Yeah, they would at least get the next 2 floors. So they can see that the sprinklers and the elevators Without being able to access either of those, I think that they are going to roll for... Which one was it that you did earlier?
Well, they can ID, but there's nothing there. There's control.
It was the one that gave them
globe.
advantage on...
Oh yeah. Speedy Gonzalez has +4 for a program, or Flak gives you the no damage on one attack.
Yeah, flak is what they're going to do. They're going to roll flak. Or just actually, I guess, turn it on because it's just a program. So they're going to use flak so that they don't take any damage on the next attack from a program, right?
Yep.
Perfect. That is their turn.
Anything non-Hellhound, I believe, actually. Yeah, anything non-Hellhound.
Oh, okay. Well, then it would actually... So it would be more likely to be, like, against you.
Yeah, if I zap them or something like that.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that is Crunch's turn. We're going to go to the Militech guards. The 3 on the inside managed to make it to the elevator. However, what they didn't see coming is all of a sudden the doors peel open in front of them as the elevator comes crashing down and flames shoot out of it. And in true 80s sci-fi action, they go flying back. Why? I don't know. But it happens, and they are knocked prone, and that is their turn. Now, the ones on the outside, though, have seen Scott shooting at Crunch, who dedicated herself to the job knowing that she had personal security. They are going to use their marksman to take a shot. Now, Jody Scott does have some cover here. So I'm going to use that as a modifier against them of, what would you say to a -3 modifier?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
And then I roll evasion.
Yes. Or, yep, that would be exactly it.
Okay. That's my highest skill, so that's good. Oh, 24.
Well, they only rolled a 13, so you are able to evade both hits.
Okay,
actually, I'll roll the second one. Why not?
Do it. Yeah, you should.
He still escapes. They got a critical success on that first one, and it still wasn't enough to get you.
All right, well I got a critical success too, so that's the only reason I evaded that then.
Nice. All right, well, you are back to being in control.
Okay, I want to try for that aimed headshot on the Netrunner.
Okay.
Are they body blocking the shot, or were they just trying to shoot me to eliminate me?
They were trying to eliminate you. They aren't large enough masses to be able to cover her from your advantage.
Okay, so this is
it is a -6
on the headshot?
Yes.
Okay. Roger that. 9 + 5 + 6. So 15 with the -6.
And you're using a rifle, correct?
Handgun.
Handgun?
Yeah. A heavy pistol.
Okay. And I told you hit before, right?
I don't know what I rolled last time. I think it was like 16 or something.
Yeah.
But this was a 15 with the -6.
Yeah, somebody's going to check to us. You actually shouldn't have hit the first time because you were far out of range, but I'm going to allow it to happen last time. This time, no. Unfortunately, you were not. You would have actually needed to hit a 30 value. Actually, a 30... Yeah, 30 and a -6 penalty.
Well, how far away are they? Because the range on this is 50 meters.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's... My apologies. I'm messing up here. No, you would definitely be able to hit that. Because a 50 meter would be a 25, but this building is not 50 meters, but it's over 26, so it'd still be a 25 difficulty to hit them.
All right.
So, yeah, this one does not hit, but...
Okay, roger that.
Okay. Do you have a rifle that you could switch to?
No. Unless I take Grant's, because he was technically up here with us. That's another thing, too, is he came up here with us to fight, so I don't know if you want to make his rolls. We kind of just forgot about him last turn.
We definitely did. Tell you what, I don't want to use Grant. We'll say that he is going to see you kind of trying to pop these shots off and not being too successful, and he's going to be like, would you want to use this pistol or you want to use my rifle? And he'll motion like he's going to hand you the rifle.
Okay, yeah, I'll just grab it and equip it for the next round.
Perfect. All right, mover.
So I'm going to pull out my rifle and start taking shots towards Crunch as well.
Perfect. So on this value, you will have a difficulty value of 10, unless you would also like to do the headshot, in which you can make your check, but at a -6.
No, we'll just do a regular one, because he does a ton of damage with an assault rifle anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so 21.
21. All right. Yes. Well, they do have armor on, but even with that minus, that was with the. Oh no, you didn't do the -6.
That was just a regular shot.
Yeah, 21 is great. So they do have armor value of 6, so that is going to take off from the total amount when you roll damage. So you can roll damage.
Okay. So damage for the assault rifle is 5d6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got 13. So 7 minus the... Or sorry. No, that's -6. Anyway, I got 13 minus whatever.
You rolled 5d6 and you only got 13?
I got a 6, 2 1s, a 2, and a 3. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, you managed to do 7 more damage, and their armor is depreciated to a 5. All right. Red Eye.
Yeah, okay. So, I'm in the elevator at the moment. I slam that open. I am going to run up to the sprinkler level. No. I'm going to drop down to the electrical systems.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to drop down into electrical systems and run a quick control on the electrical system. So 8 plus 7, so 15.
Yeah, you take control. What are you doing?
I don't know exactly what the extent of the electrical system is, but I would more or less like to get it shorting or continually sparking on any of the floors that we don't already have access to lighting on fire. We got fire on the first and
third.
Fire on the fourth. But I honestly would want to get them on all floors because that's extra backup in case the flames in there aren't enough. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So you're looking to overcharge the system.
Yeah, get it so that it fries itself. It can actually make some sparks somewhere.
Okay.
Although I don't know exactly where we would go with that.
We got them trapped on the first floor too, and there's open flame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to be able to hit whatever floors they might find themselves on, right? Because
we could fry them on the first right now.
Yeah, but I mean, how much is it going to burn them? That's just all. I don't know if it's going to nuke them. But if I burn them on every level, I'm pretty sure they're going to, be immolated by the third or fourth. By the time they get to the roof's third level, we have 3.
You'll never know.
I guess I only have the second.
Try.
Where do I keep getting a 4th level from? I keep saying 4th level. I only need to activate the 2nd level electrical, but I would like to just have all 3 as hot as they possibly can be, so that as any moisture hits them, they're going to just start sparking. All the plugs are just maxed. Hopefully no one else is in their rooms.
So you're going to go for that first floor?
Yeah, I would probably just go for all the floors with it. Might as well. I don't have the sprinklers yet. I got to move back up to 4th. So
that's fair. So if you want to overcharge the electrical, I will let you do. Yep. You've already done it, so I'll let you roll damage to see how much it does.
Yeah, I guess I could just also shock people. My plan was just making sure that there's something that would, start the flames on the other levels. If there's any sparking, it would, help. But yeah, might as well see if we can fry some people. I like that idea too.
I'm going to let you roll 5d6 for damage to see if it works.
Let's see if you can roll higher than 13.
Let me grab some dice here.
Considering I definitely judged Mover for that.
To be
Big
fair,
tough guy,
it also should have been a 3-round burst because it's an assault rifle, so I should have got bonus damage rolls. But I didn't realize it until after we'd already moved on. So,
okay, well.
18.
That is much better. Yeah, so you overcharge the systems, and the security guards who have been knocked prone are unable to move out of the way as they hear the kind of sharp cracking sound that then intensifies and reaches out and deals 18 damage to them, keeping them immobilized on the ground.
Sweet.
nice.
Yeah.
Not that any of us know this.
We're just
All right.
hoping.
This is some Home Alone stuff here, guys.
Hey, man, it's good.
Should this have been our Christmas special?
Oh, man.
Apparently.
Apparently.
This is if Kevin McAllister grew up to be Batman.
In a
If he grew up to be
dystopian
Batman
future?
Beyond, more, yeah.
All right, Mover. Anything
Red
else you
Eye?
want to do?
Yeah.
Or sorry, Red Eye. Anything else you want to do?
No, I think that's kind of what I've got at the moment.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Crunch has taken a bullet and then almost taken a second one. And they all of a sudden take an action to jack out of the system. And
Nice.
they pull off their goggles and they're like, "Are you kidding me? I ain't putting up with this corporate bullshit." And they take off running. The private security kind of just look in disbelief as they're like, and with her gone, who are they protecting? So they run into the building.
Good. That's where we want them.
It is where we want them.
Yeah. It is now Scott's turn.
Okay, if I look over the edge of the building, they're inside, can't see anything.
Correct.
I don't know. I'm just gonna tell the Netrunner Red Eye that they're in the building because I don't know if they would be able to see it and everything, so that they know that like the whole team is down on the first floor. And then kind of just like, I don't know, keep my eyes peeled on the door in case any of them run back out so I can get a shot on them because there's nothing really else I can do, I don't think.
Okay. Mover.
Can anyone access the roof at this point? I thought the only access to the roof was the elevator.
They literally would have to take their chopper and fly up here.
I said, but also, we're now stranded on the roof.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. But hopefully we can vent the fire out. And I have rope. I have rope in my backpack.
Hey, there we go.
It was on my randomly generated character, so yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's Mover's turn.
Yeah. Sure is. Yeah, I don't know. We've kind of stuck ourselves on the roof and no one's outside, so I have nobody to shoot.
Yeah.
I really don't know what to do with my turn.
Just gotta
tell
let
you what.
I burn them.
Why don't you roll local expert?
Roll for emotional support.
You might know what's going on in the building.
Local expert. So I got intelligence 11. This is a lot of math in this game. 14.
You know that there's a fire escape.
Nice.
Good. I was thinking about that earlier, but I also I don't know.
No, die hard it. Go into the ducks.
I climbed down the thing like ho ho ho. I have a machine gun.
Come
All right, are we-
have a few laughs?
Okay, so then I'm going to take the fire escape down, and then
Sure.
yeah. Will
You
that
could
be,
move
like, my
about
whole turn?
halfway. You can move
Okay,
about
cool.
halfway.
Okay, so my plan is eventually to make it to the front, and then like as they try to run out, shoot them through the door.
Normally, you
Basically-
could probably make it the whole way, but because you're climbing, that's going to be like half speed, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right. Red Eye.
Okay. Well, apparently I have the system to myself now because Crunch ain't no real net runner. And so yeah, I'm just gonna hop in that elevator and take it up to the sprinkler system floor.
All right.
I have no way of knowing where people are on the floors, though. I don't know what sprinklers to turn on.
I told you.
Yeah, he told you though.
Yeah, because
you said they're on the
we
first
physically
floor.
saw
Yeah.
them walk in, and I told you. Yeah.
I at least know that we think that I should know that there's
Yeah.
all first floor. So yeah, I'm gonna go in and drop a control on the sprinklers and kick them onto the first floor. So I got a 10, so 17.
You are in control of the sprinkler system.
I feel the sprinkler system. I am one with the sprinkler system. I understand fire safety on a level that none have ever understood it. I have the power, and boom, and let's go 1/4 of the tank's worth of fluid onto those guys
And
with a
you've
fire right near them.
You've heard of water benders, but have you heard of alcohol water benders?
Fire waterbend.
I heard of one
Jaden.
named Jesus.
That's wide, sir.
It's alcohol.
Everybody's getting
booze
drunk
and
on
water
the first floor. Jaden, can you please roll me 8 d10s?
Oh my goodness.
See, I didn't even think about this, but like if they have cybernetics, like that's a lot of like wires. Fire
6,
melts wires.
7.
Fire is
8.
tremendously bad for electronics.
But
It's
can
It's
jet
tremendously
fuel-
bad for your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you can recover from burns.
I think you can get new wires installed.
Yeah, but not when they're in the flames. Like,
Oh, they would hurt. They would get hot. They would burn from the inside. It would be brutal.
yeah, this is like extra bad.
Okay.
But
So
can jet fuel melt steel beams? Like, it's dystopian future. Did that even happen?
Dude, how'd you know my side table topic for this batch?
36.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, so they burn
Yeah.
alive.
Hella
They
dead.
horribly. So as you turn on the sprinkler system and the residue from the Molotovs mixed with the electrical damage that is still going on, which the other personnel, the Militech guards, walked into, everything is just like the perfect storm of destruction, and they die excruciatingly agonizing deaths on the first floor. You have done untold amounts of damage to this apartment building, but it's okay.
Yeah.
All
That's
the
what
people.
insurance is for.
Mover eventually gets down to the ground floor, looks in, and sees these charred husks, also soaking with water still after the flames die down and the sprinklers keep going. He sees them just lying there, signals to you guys that it's done. You all take the fire escape down, and enough of the citizens, enough of the neighbors and tenants come back to see, like, oh man, it's all over, hey? And they're so happy that their building is saved that their rent comes in a little bit closer, a little bit faster to the due dates. But you also know that you have to start charging more because there's a lot of damage that needs to be covered.
We only burned one floor at least. I was going to burn all
ya.
3.
And we destroyed the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
They can take the stairs.
You have made enemies of WorldSat. And who knows, maybe one day they will come for you.
Probably
But-
Militech too.
You spend the night rejoicing and partying, and you actually, as a reward, get a +3 to your reputation. So now people from the neighborhood know you by name and face, and they're going to start requesting jobs of you as your reputation grows. In fact, so much so that Gina finds you that night, and she has some information for you. So Gina brings you what is called a scream sheet. Now, all of you guys have popped off a few of those, mini liquor bottles, but you're coherent enough to know that a scream sheet is a quick printed article from the data pool, and it says the following: Biotechnica delays release of designer drug. And it is an article, and it is written by Jackie McGee, And it says, a spokesperson for Biotechnica announced today that the upcoming release of their designer drug, Cyberpunk, has been delayed for a month. The company assured customers that pre-orders will be honored in the order they were received, and the delay has been caused purely by a shipping issue caused by a high demand for the drug. When Biotechnica revealed the project to the public early last year, they touted it as a revolutionary all-day prevention against disease, poison, and pain, designed for your unique physiology. Since their announcement, a representative from Militech at their Night City regional office has commented on the status of their order. Despite the delay, we stand behind our trusted business partners, Biotechnica. Cyberpunk performed well during our internal tests, and we look forward to receiving our order as soon as possible. And as she finishes letting you read this article, impatiently stamping her foot, she rips it out of your hands and says, "You just don't understand. We have to help them. The test subjects aren't humans. They're never humans. Biotechnica is up to some dangerous activities, and all of the animals, Rico, Puddles, Spooky, so many like them are in danger. Please, help them." And as you look towards each other, you realize that this is a job for another adventure. And that's where we end.
Cool.
Does anybody
I wanna
else
go
think
save
that
the hamsters?
Does anybody else think that drug might have been a metaphor for Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah.
Announced
Maybe.
in the past, Harold is being revolutionary, then delayed, and shady business practices.
Could be.
All right, guys. Well, that has been The Apartment, the scenario provided by the Quick Start or Jump Start kit for Cyberpunk Red. I hope you guys enjoyed playing tonight. Cade, Jaden, Jody, thank you for joining me. We'll catch you guys next time on our review episode. See you later.